My name's Alice. I've been a writer for almost a year and a half now. Today, I am the head of SDR and PLG. I was looking for something really specific. I'm driven by learnings, so I'm always looking for something that takes me further from the experiences I've had. Generative AI was an area of interest, but to me, more importantly, I look for leaders who can articulate a vision that's leaps and bounds above the market. It's driven by insight, and it's grounded in like a really practical set of beliefs and technical competencies, which when I chatted with May and Waseem were what I found. I was very inspired by the phases of development and growth that they had in mind. And that was the type of environment that I want to learn and thrive in. I actually started my career working in New York, FinServ heavy industries, and is as male dominant as it can be. It does breed and give allowances for a certain culture or, what the norm is allowed to be. And I found that tech is already so much more progressed than maybe some of the industries that some of us had came from. Specifically for sales, and I would say enterprise sales, the presence of female leadership really gets the air gets thinner on the top. So without seeing somebody being able to thrive in that environment, you may not even realize that it could be an option for you, right? And also representation cascades down to how do we pattern recognize successful attributes. And when you have diverse sort of representation in more senior leadership position, the way each of them identify talent, objectively, what seems to be a successful candidate, how we hire, how we interview, and then the future talent pipeline, then it gets kind of pulled into the company. It makes a huge impact for different layers in the company hierarchy. So I think representation is really meaningful in that way. May is always doing her thing, it's so inspiring to see her going toe to toe with industry veterans and challenge them to think about their business, of which they know so well, in a very different light, and has a very good reasons to do so. When you see how direct she can communicate and the balance that she strikes between power and warmth, right? Being authoritative and firm with humanizing how supportive she is and deliver that in such a compelling, powerful way. It's inspiring to see, and that is a model that I think anybody could learn from. In the way that she conducts the team, how she builds culture within Writer, right? How she kind of intentionally spends time with everybody, make sure everybody's taken care of, remembers people's birthdays, how you show care. But at the meantime, be able to hold people accountable, inspire them to deliver 120% of their potential. I mean, that's what we're all here for. I found Writer to be a place where I think it's a huge testament to May's leadership. You really have a role model, and it gives you permission to express yourself in a different way, seeing that there's a female leader who has succeeded and carved out a space for herself in these very crowded room. And for me, as a female sales leader, I have learned and benefited from this representation of female leadership. And I found that there's a richness in just diverse thinking and different voices. We see this in the executive meetings when May and other writer female sales leaders are also present in the room. And I really tend to thrive in that and enjoy it quite a bit. I don't know if this is intentional, but the sequencing of the wording, I feel like it's an interesting one. This is my belief, you can challenge people so much more when you get the first part right, which is connect, right? And so when you have psychological safety amongst team members, when we know that we have each other's backs and our comments and our feedback is all coming from a good place, and at the end of the day, we're tied to the hip and are committed to resolving to something together. I think that's what I feel here at Writer. Like I know, my team's interest, their life milestones. We talk about it, we joke around, we connect as a team. I am vulnerable to them. I know what my strengths are. I know where I spike. I also know where I need their help. And I create a space for folks to connect so that we can deliver our best work. So we are unafraid and unencumbered by this psychological game that we need to check ourselves when we need to do the work, which is already challenging enough. And that gets the team to just focus on the task on hand and really listen that much faster. And then I think that comes with part of the challenge, right? If you're inspired to be more, and if you know your team has got you, then you want that ownership. You want that freedom to create. You want to be able to push and prod, and you want to know what is Alice's limitation and what are something that I thought previously was impossible that's possible here. That is a chapter of our career and life that we want to take away from. And I feel like that is exemplified based on my experience at Writer. Well, you're ready. You're more ready than a lot of people claim how ready they are. So you're ready, all right? There are so many different ways to get to Rome and to be successful. It's such a subjective term. And I actually think with the introduction of AI, it requires somebody who is analytical, strategic, and can pattern match the nuances and deep understanding of a workflow or how work is being done, and apply this technology in a really seamless way, woven into the fabric of people, how they do work. How do you do that well? You really have to have an active listening and the ability to observe and be very open-minded and low ego on where this path would take you. And I tend to find that a lot of female candidates really do that well. Not afraid to take risks. I think we all have an internal goalpost and it's oh man, it'll be sick if I could do this, right? But externally, to maybe set expectations, you say the 80% version of what the most audacious goal that it could be. And here at Writer, I think we have really audacious leaders who are unafraid to commit and set big goals. And you will realize the power and the creativity that you allow yourself to unlock within yourself by just saying the craziest thing. And it's achievable. You have smart people. There's a saying, if you don't land on the moon, you get to the closest star, right? And that's what we're here to do. We're really at the precipice of exciting technology that could change a lot of facets in our lives. And if it's not this time, then when? So don't think about optimization. Think about net new white space. And if you're a principle thinker, if you're a framework thinker who can navigate well in the ambiguity, resist the temptation to plug and play things that you've seen work in the exact way you have seen work, but zoom out, I think that would serve you so well here. And you'll uncover such opportunities at Writer. Well, just so happens, my team is hiring. I am hiring for leadership roles and also IC roles, and they're open rec across all of our hubs, which are in London, New York, San Francisco, and Chicago, amongst others, across all the go-to-market roles. If you're somebody who's interested, who just want to learn more, go to our career page or find anybody who has a hiring tag on LinkedIn and DM us directly.